Okay, say hi to 7th hour.
Hi. Today's favorite. We're
They
the better.
can't see you, they just see the screen.
What is this?
I don't know. Alright. You don't have your grammar notes out, please?
No.
I'm gonna stand up here the whole time, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to theoretically record this, post it tomorrow, make 7th hour watch it. You've already seen the whole thing, okay? So you just have to do the worksheet that I'm gonna give you to do over this. Okay? Yeah, that's my plan. Alright.
Well, it's just a 2 hour thing.
You already have an essay.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. This is assuming we'll be here tomorrow, but I'm assuming we won't be here tomorrow.
What?
I'm being preventative or
I
something.
think it's totally.
Okay, ready? So, Jose, focus. All right, your title's direct and indirect object pronouns. So write that down. And I have the slides up on Canvas too. Okay. Now, you already know direct object pronouns. You learned me, te, lo, la, nos, los, las. Do you remember if I say I give the book to Maria, what's the direct object in there? The book or Maria? It's the book. It's what directly receives the action. So I'm receiving the book. That's what's being given, okay? So the book is your direct object. So in the sentence you would say, yo doy el libro a Maria. You would replace el libro with lo, okay? And then you're saying, I give it to Maria. And do you remember where they go in a sentence?
In front of the
They go in front. So it would look like yo, lo, doy a Maria, okay? So that you all know already. Everybody still good on all that? Okay. Now we're going to learn the other part. So we're going to learn how to say, I give it to her. Okay? So that is called, can you figure that out? Based on the title here? That's your indirect object pronoun. Okay? So that's the to him or to her, to me or whatever. Alright, so I'm going to give you that list here in a second, but I'm going to review your direct objects with you real quick. So again, tengo un lápiz is I have what?
Okay.
What's a lápiz? Pencil. So then we say I have it. So a lápiz goes in front of tengo. Okay? I have a computer. So la tengo. I have some pens. I have them. And then some t-shirts. I have them. Okay. Everybody's good on all that. That's very simple, right? Okay. So prove it to me. How would you say, yes, I have it? See what? What's this turn into, Carlos?
Low.
Lo. And where does it go?
In front of.
Yeah. So sí lo tengo. Okay? Okay. Now, how do you say I don't have it? If it's a sombrero.
No.
Adin?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
No, no.
Yeah. It's a surprise when I make him speak. Okay. Julio. Say yes, I have them.
Sí, las tiene. No, las tengo.
Yeah. Sí, las tengo. Alright. Everybody get the idea? Okay, we'll do one more. Maria. No, I don't have it. It's a corbata.
No, Latin.
Yep. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to move us. Oh, perfect timing. Okay. So this is your new chart, your indirect object pronouns. Okay. So me, te, lay, nos, and lace. They're all the same except that bottom row. Okay. So you got to write that down because you don't know this at all. Now this is the to whom or for whom the action is done, okay? So I give it to Maria. We're going to now take out to Maria and replace it with what? Lay, right? Bottom left of our chart is lay. Okay, now the formula is indirect, direct, conjugated verb. If you happen to list all of them in a sentence, that's the order you put them in. So it's going to go indirect, direct, conjugated verb. I would write that down somewhere. I'm assuming I have it on my slide somewhere. I think. Oh, it just needs an update. It's not dying. Okay. All right. So indirect, direct, conjugated verb. So what am I gonna write next, if that's the pattern? Lay. Okay, and then what's my direct? Low in that sentence, which it was a book, I think is what we said. And then conjugated verb?
Doy.
Doy. So that's what it'll look like. Okay, now on the very last slide of today's notes, I'm gonna change this to something special when we end up with two words beginning with L. There's a really weird trick, okay? So wait for that, because this is not quite perfect yet, but you get the idea of what we're gonna be doing. Okay, so this chapter's lesson is just, can you do the A Maria part? Okay, and you already know the other. I'm gonna go ahead and teach you how to combine it all, because there's no reason not to. I don't need this up. Okay, so it's done to someone or to something or for someone or something. If you need to write that, you can. That's the definition of indirect object pronoun. So to whom or for whom the action is done. Okay. All right. So now, if I say, I give the candy to Bonita, the candy is your direct object, that's what you give. Bonita's indirect, that's to whom. Okay, and we're gonna stick the indirect in front of the conjugative verb. So yo le doy el dulce. Okay, then if I wanted, I could also take out I give it to her, and I could say yo le lo doy, like that, right? But if I'm just focusing on indirects right now, then I'm just gonna take out bonita and put le. Everybody get all that? But we can make it fancier if we want. Okay, this is what you have to be able to do this chapter. Fancier stuff, you'll just like it because it's kind of nice to do. All right, so like I said, the indirect object pronoun is going to go in front of the conjugated verb or stuck at the end of the infinitive, just like we did with direct object pronouns. So it goes in the same spot. If you happen to use all of them in one sentence, that's the formula though. So if there is a direct object pronoun also, here's your formula, indirect, direct, conjugate verb. But I already told you that. All right, so, me das la carta, what's that mean?
I have to letter.
No, that does mean letter. Okay, see?
You give me a letter?
Yeah, you give me, that's your indirect object pronoun, the letter, okay? So that is just an example of we've got an indirect object pronoun. If we wanted to also take out the direct object, then what?
Me le das?
It'd be me le das. No, it wouldn't. This is the direct. Me la das. Because you give the letter to me. So the letter is your lo la los las. Your indirect is me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Alright, so you give me the letter. Me is in front of the conjugated verb. This is the other way you can do it there. That's what we were trying to say, right? So indirect, direct, conjugated verb. Okay. We okay? This is a lot. This is advanced. This is a lot. Okay. Well, don't worry. We'll do examples and you'll get it. All right. Here's an example if you wanted to stick it at the end. So, voy a darte la carta. We can only stick it at the end if we have an infinitive in our sentence, right? Like the I'm going to do or I have to go or whatever. So we have an infinitive here. I'm going to give you the letter. So we're allowed to stick it at the end of the infinitive. And then it's in the correct order in English. Remember doing that? Okay. All right. Now, how would you say he gives me the purse? So first of all, which of these means me? Me. Okay, so we're going to erase the one that's wrong. Which one is not the me? Which is the wrong indirect object pronoun? The lay, right? So that's going to be gone. Okay, now how do we say he gives? Duh. So we're going to take away don. Okay, and then how do you say the purse? Which one of these? Falda or bolsa? Bolsa. So we're going to take away skirt. What order do we put it in? Yeah, just like it is. Me da la bolsa or el me da la bolsa. Okay? All right, same thing. How do you say I buy? Which of these two verbs? Compras or compro? Compro. Take away compras. Okay, I buy you. Me or te? Te. And then about cartera or cinturón? Cinturón. So we're going to say that. What order do we put it in? Te compro un cinturón. I buy you a belt. Okay? Alright, so to summarize, and then I'll show you how to add them all together with the formula and do all the fancy stuff. So I throw the ball is my direct object pronoun. That would be a lo. Indirects, I throw the ball to her. Here's your direct object pronoun chart again, which I think we wrote already. We wrote at the beginning of the slides, I think. Okay. And then here's your indirects again, which we just wrote a minute ago. Okay. So you can make the subject clearer on the lay and lace by adding a in the person's name. So let me show you this. I give the letter to her. Yo doy la carta a ella. That's I give the letter to her. We can also take out the her and put lay in front. Okay, that's just doing an indirect object pronoun. But that's vague. That could mean I give the letter to her or him or instead. Right? Lay is super vague because it's bottom left box. So we could then keep the her at the end as well. That's called the clarifying ah. Have we done that before? No? Okay. So these all mean the exact same thing. I give the letter to her, I give the letter to her, I give the letter to her, and we're clarifying who the lay is. Okay? How's that you like? Are you like?
Yeah, this is
Jose's loving it. Okay.
see, like,
Oh, here's another way of saying it. Were you ready for that fourth one, Jose? Fourth way to say same thing? Okay. It's the same thing, you can stick IA at the beginning. Alright, good? Okay. Here's another example. Yo escribo una carta a Eva. I write a letter to Eva. So, how would I take away Eva and make the indirect object pronoun in there? How do I say I write the letter to her? What do I replace Eva with, Carlos? Yes, like, where does it go?
Before. After the
Before the conjugated verb, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yo le escribo una carta a Eva. There you go. I kept a Eva, that way we know who the le is if it's vague. Okay. Alright, we will get to the say lo thing in a second. Alright, here's your biggest trick of the day, okay? Alright, write this down. 2 L words. I don't know how normal Spanish teachers teach it, but I say 2 L words. Okay, so just write that down. You'll understand what I mean. It'll be really easy. It's going to be like a formula. Okay. If we are writing, let me do this again. Yo doy, I give. El libro. Ooh, not libro. El libro. And this will be the end of the notes, and then we'll just practice and make sure you guys are good to go tomorrow. A Maria. Okay. Tell me again which one's the direct object. We'll just label. Write the sentence, and then we'll label it. That way you've got in your notes like a really good example. So, yo doy el libro a Maria. Where's my direct object? What am I giving? Yes. So label this. Direct object. Okay. To whom or for whom is my indirect. So where's my indirect? Maria is my indirect. Okay. Now, did you write down the formula, which is indirect, direct, then the conjugated verb? Okay, so we're going to put it all together like we did earlier. So, yo. Okay, what's my indirect going to be if it's Maria? Yeah, me te lay, nos or lace. So we want lay, correct? Everyone with me? Liz, are you alive too? Kind of. Okay, do you get why I'm doing lay for Maria? Okay, so yo lay. Next is my direct object pronoun. What would el libro turn into? Like we did last chapter. See?
Lo.
Lo. Okay. And then next we put our conjugated verb according to that formula, right? Alright, here's what we do. You ready? Y'all with you guys are like literally falling asleep. Okay, wake up. Alright, if you write your sentence with the whole formula here, indirect, direct, conjugated verb, and you end up with 2 L words in a row, like lay and lo. That sounds stupid if you say it. Say it to yourself in Spanish. Yo le lo doy. Yeah. It sounds stupid, okay? And you know they fix things when it's stupid. So if that happens, this is all you do. The first one turns into say. Always say. Doesn't matter what either L word is. The first one will just always turn into say. And now it's yo se lo doy. And now it's pretty. That's it. That's the rule. Okay, so I'm going to explain that on the slides here, but you might not need to write much if you understood that. So if you're using an indirect, direct, conjugative verb, you have two L words. It could be lay low, lay loss, whatever. First one will change to say. Okay, so if I have yo doy la pelota a ella, let's work this one out. All right, well, do you know what a pelota is? You remember? A ball, like a baseball? So I give the baseball to her. All right, what's my direct object pronoun? The baseball. Okay, what's my indirect object pronoun? Her. Okay, what does pelota turn into? La. What's her turn into? Lay. Good. Now we just gotta put it in order. So yo, what's next? Indirect, direct, or conjugated verb before we switch it up. So first we put lay. Direct would be la. Conjugated verb would be doy. We ended up with two L words. So the first one will become say. Your answer is yo say la doy. And that means I give it to her. Okay? What do you think? It's kind of crazy, right? Okay, so there you go. There's your answer on the slide. And that's as hard as it can possibly get. Yeah. Yeah, really, that's as hard as it can get. That's the end of the slides. Okay, everybody good? See? Okay, so I'm gonna have you try. Let me think here. I'm gonna make up a couple sentences first to have you try it. And then we have a workbook page we can do. The worksheet for tomorrow, you guys want me to go ahead and do the first one of each one with you? Now, in case we're gone tomorrow? That way in the video they can hear how to do the first ones as well. So let's do that. So this is what we'll do Friday. If we're here, we'll do it in class. If we're not here, this is what I'm gonna have you do at home. This is all I'll have you do. Okay. Except for the fifth hour kids, I'm gonna force them to watch a video. Okay, guys. I wrote Friday on it, so you don't get confused. Okay, so I'm gonna take you through the first one in each section, because it just breaks down the baby steps, basically. All right, on the first section. You guys ready? Okay. First part, it says, just take out the direct object and rewrite the sentence with the direct object pronoun. Okay? So, do you all have the same version, by the way? I had some old copies that I think were different. Did yours all say that at the top?
Yeah.
Okay. So, number one, it says, Los hermanos batean la pelota. So, we're just doing direct object pronoun for the first few, just to review. So, what is the direct object in that sentence? What are we batting? The ball. Okay, so scratch out la pelota. Change it to what? Direct objects. Me, te, lo, la, nos, los, or las. La, right? Okay, above it, write la. That way you've got it broken down for you. Okay, now next to that sentence, you're rewriting the sentence in the correct way. So you're going to write los hermanos. What comes next? La, and then what? Batean. Okay? Alright, so that's number one. That's review. Okay, now we're going to do indirect object pronouns, which is what you have to get this chapter. So now, to whom or for whom. So part 2, it says, Yo compro el carro a Isabel. What does that mean? I buy the car for Isabel. Okay? So, to whom does the car go? To Isabel. Scratch out a Isabel. What would you turn it into? Me, te, lay, nos, or lace, because these are indirects. Lay. Write lay above it. Now we're going to write yo. What's next? Lay. What's next? Compró. And then el carro. Okay, all right, before we move on, I'm going to have you do something which I usually make kids do. Okay, in the top section where it's just DOPs, make your DOP chart. So on the top 3, 1 through 3, make your chart, which is, do you guys all remember it? may, te. Yeah, just do it with me next to the top three so you don't get confused. You'll want this to reference if we're gone tomorrow. Okay, got that? Okay, now next to, somewhere in between 1 and 15 in part 2, do your indirects, which we just copied down out of our notes, but it's may, te, lay, no slice. Okay, put that next to your indirects. All right, now, next to the third section, write the formula. Indirect, direct, conjugated verb, or just the abbreviated. Hello, you alive?
Yes, I am.
Write your formula next to part 3.
Part three.
There's 3 parts.
So, Papa,
So I just want you to write the formula to the side for notes for
oh,
yourself.
yeah.
All right, everybody good? Okay, so now we're going to skip to part 3, and we're going to use the entire formula and do it all. All right? Okay, so it says, tu papa, your dad. What's my mistake in number 1? You see it?
The accent?
The accent. Yeah, there's an accent on your, and it shouldn't be there. So you can erase that or scratch. You can't erase it, but you can scratch it out or something. All right, your dad gives what to what? What does it say?
Gives chocolate to you.
Yeah, your dad gives you chocolate, okay? All right, so scratch out the direct object, which is what?
The chocolate.
El chocolate. Scratch it out. You're not going to rewrite that at all, okay? What do we replace it with? We want directs. What's our direct that is el chocolate? Low. Okay, above it, write low. To whom? To you. So in our indirect chart, we're going to scratch out ati, and it's going to be te. That one's really obvious. So above ati, write te. Now all those words are erased, okay? So now we're going to write tu papa. Don't put the accent on tu this time. Now do the formula. Indirect first. What did we replace that with? Te, right? Okay, so tu papa, te. What's our direct? Low. And then what's our verb? Da. And then you put a period.
Can we do the evens of these dogs?
I'll do number 2 with you. That way you have an example of the 2 L words one. Okay? And then I won't do anymore because I'm going to have you finish it tomorrow. This is all I'm going to make you do tomorrow, though, if we're gone. So.
That's a lot.
Not
This is
really.
a whole worksheet, not a
I know. It's a struggle when you have the whole day. Okay, number 2. Ready? You get one more. I give the, what's a camisa? Yeah, shirt. Camiseta is t-shirt. Exactly. Okay, so I give the shirt to my husband. Okay, so I give, all right, what are we giving? Shirt, so scratch out la camisa. Which chart are we gonna use? Directs. It's what you're giving. It's la. So above la camisa, we need to write la. And then to whom? To your husband, which would be lay. There you go. Yep. Okay, so now everything after doi is erased and not getting used now. So now we're going to write our formula yo, indirect first, which is lay, direct second, which was la, conjugated verb, which is doi, and then we have to fix it to what? Say. Yep. We have to fix the first word to say. So say, la, doi, right? That's it. You got it?
I feel like this would be good practice to do for the rest of the class. And we're gonna have time.
No, I'm going to practice with you. I have to make you do something tomorrow, especially if they all have to watch this video and do it. See? Yeah, just like, okay, let me stop the video. Anybody have questions that would be beneficial for 5th hour to hear? See?
Can we only do the odds?
No.
Why not?
She said beneficial questions.
Anybody have beneficial questions? Right now, 5th hour is being forced to watch this at home.
You mean we're fifth?
You mean
Can they just watch it tonight?
I fit that.
I mean, they could, you're right. Okay, bye. You want to tell 5th hour bye?
Bye.
Bye, 5th hour. I'll say bye.